Hey crafty people, welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Oh, welcome to my channel. So this is the third video in our All Hallows Eve Candy Factory make. Video 1 we did the top floor, video 2 we did the second floor. So for video 3, we're going to do the bottom floor and then the finishing touches of our sign and our battery pack in the back. So yeah, we're going to get started now. We've got a piece of popsicle stick that I cut to size and some little wood beads that are going to serve as the feet. So let's set that aside for a sec and glue our wood beads on. Going to give it a little bit of lift, and it's going to go in here like that. Then I've got a pair of scissors that we're going to attach, and these are charm I had in my stash. It's going to go like so it looks like it's cutting pieces off of the candy. So I cut the little top piece off for the charm, and I'm just gonna sand that a little bit, like the loop, so that it would actually be charm on something. All right, that's going there. So let's get our E6000, which apparently I left the top off of. So oh, I just used it. That's right. Like, have I left this sitting here for ages? No, I literally just used it. Okay. Okay, I have a feeling I'm gonna have to stand here and hold this. Oh, there we go. Nope, it's drooping. There's actually, I think it's hitting on the back too. So let's add a little there, a little there, a little there. Try this again. Okay, so I think that's gonna need to sit like that and dry. Let's get it positioned exactly where I want it. I think that's good. So I'm going to have to leave that alone before we work on the rest of the conveyor belt. But to the side of the conveyor belt, I wanted to have like a little basket, which we're going to make out of a couple bottle caps that they fall into. And then along the way, we're going to have sprayers, which this is going to be a feat of engineering to get these on here. Because the idea is one's going to be here and it's going to be spraying glitter on. And these are just Christmas tree light bulbs. And I wasn't thinking and did all of them off camera, but I just covered them with Foundry Wax Statute, which you can just brush onto things and then you just have to heat set it and it gives it that metallic-y look. So I want to have one sprayer, which we're going to dip the tip in rock candy. I may have to shorten these pieces. I think we need to raise up where our sprayer is. And then one that's adding purple to our pieces. Yeah, I definitely think we're gonna shorten these a little bit. So let's do that. All right, so let's see. I've got out a purple Copic marker. So for our Copic marker or a coloring light bulb. We're just going to give it a coat of purple, which isn't showing up very well, but there you can kind of see it. And then we're going to take our candy and add a purple stripe to it. And I actually think I want to cut this guy in half because height-wise, I think that's going to work better. And then let's grab a few more that we're going to cut to the same height. What we're going to do, let's bring over our caps. So let's glue these guys together. And this was mostly, I was just looking around my house for something that would be, you know, good to serve as like a basket to catch the stuff coming off the conveyor belt. So we're just gonna glue those guys together. And we'll let them sit and glue together. Now this is gonna be our rock candy one. So grab our jar of rock candy. We're gonna grab some Glossy Accents. We're gonna coat this in Glossy Accents and then dip it in the rock candy. That should be good. I may have to come back and do a few spots that didn't get covered all the way. I'm gonna set that aside, let that dry. We've got that guy done. I should have done the striping on these guys before I cut them because they're gonna go get striped. I'm gonna leave one plain because that's the one that got cut off, and another one plain because that's the one that's gonna be under the purple sprayer, but the rest of these need coloring. Now let's glitter them. So we're gonna add Glossy Accents. And I'm not too worried about getting the rock candy contaminated with the Glossy Accents, which is why I'm throwing it in here, because I've also bought the new bottles that they came out with of the thin and the chunky and the regular rock candy. So if I have clumps in this one, it'll be okay because I can just get unclumped ones from my bottle, if that makes sense. Let's see. That's glued together. Sort of. It's still a little squishy. All right. I'm gonna leave everything to dry completely. Then we'll come back and get the bottom row finished. Moving on to our bottom row. So we've got our candy cane, which broke off. Oh no, I'm gonna have to re-glue that. That stinks. All right, I'll have to re-glue that guy on. And I cut a hole in this because I also think I want to put a light inside here. So what we're gonna do is first I want to cover the outside of this, and I found another scrap piece of this paper, or actually two. So I did the top, and then I have this piece left over, and this piece will actually fit around our little basket. So I'm thinking that I'm just gonna go ahead and cover it with that paper, because that'll work. All right, let's do that. It's definitely getting to the point where I'm like, this project's almost done and I just really want to finish it. I have so many other projects I want to do. So many Halloween ideas. And this one, if you don't do Halloween, you so could do this as like a Christmas one. Like you could so make a Christmas candy factory. Wow, that is not wanting to stick at all. I don't know why it doesn't want to stick. All right. So we're gonna have to like grab some clamps, I think. That. That. And leave that to dry. All right. Now let's see, what else do I need? We need, all right, that's going there. That's going over here. And what I'm planning on doing is, the idea is we're gonna put these little gears on top. And in the center of each gear, we're gonna have a piece of candy cane. So let's pull this out. Actually, I wanna make sure I line that one kinda up with where, if that cut off a piece, it would land. So I want that there. Let me grab a white pen and just put a mark. That worked. Okay, great. So let's see if this is gonna work. Move that out of the way for now. All right, so if we glue this guy down, there, do that, and then this piece gets glued on there like that, and that one goes there, and that one goes there, and this is our little candy conveyor belt. And then this is the one getting colored, so this one goes so, and then we want one that's got, let's glue that down first. And then one that got glittered goes there. Getting all kinds of glue on my fingers. And so we need to let all of this dry. Woo! Since, yeah, it needs to dry. So I'm gonna let everything dry. We're gonna come back and hopefully be able to finish assembly of the inside, and then we just have to do some stuff on the back. It's gonna need a minute to dry too, probably, once I glue it together. So it's gonna go on the thing kind of like this, with this coming out of the ceiling. I'm just trying to decide the best way to attach it. So I'm doing like that. I feel like maybe gluing it there. Let's try collage medium and see if that works better or grips faster than the Aleene's the Ultimate. I'm kind of wondering what the best way to set this up. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little wire. because I was thinking of adding a little wire anyway. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap a little wire around here. Because it's got the little wire sticking out, I thought it might be cool to add some wire on here. Then we're gonna push that wire up against there. Hold that in place. Try and hold that in place and wrap. That. Oop. Tighten that on. And then add some more glue. I think I'm gonna go back to the Ultimate, because I just feel like it's gonna grip better. Like pull it away a little bit, add a little, and kind of smush it around and get it in there. And then that is not wanting to stay. Like, it's fine. I'm gonna set that down and let that dry, and I'm gonna do the same thing to the other one once the glitter bit is dry, and then we'll come back and install them into the piece, and everything else will be dry, and we'll do all of the other gluing we need to do. So I'll be back. Now let's finish the bottom section. Oh, you know what? We need to glue this piece on to hide the lights up there. So let's do that, although I'm gonna use the black glue so that it's less noticeable if we get any oozing. So let's do that. Alright, that's glued down. And while I have this out, I want to fill in some gappage on our cauldrons, and that's not what I meant to do. And that's not working very well. Alright, we're going to stop doing that, because there's too big of a gap to fill with the glue. I'm getting some more of the black opaque texture paste in, so I'll probably go back and just put a little along the front of that to fix that up. Oh, and I have no idea how long this video is, but it's probably ridiculously long. Okay, so next step. Let's glue this into place, and actually let's use the black glue for this too. And then this guy's gonna go in like so. Now off camera, I glued a bunch of the sticks in, and I want to add a couple more. So I've got, and I also put some black paint along the top just to cover up the white exposed area on the paper. Not want to stay. All right, let's put a little dot of glue on his buddy next to him, and hopefully they'll hold each other up. And the same over here. And I may need to set this aside to dry before I try putting it in, since those guys keep falling. I think we're good. So let's just, come on. There we go. That is like well wedged in there, but we're gonna lift it up and put a little of the black E6000. Oh, look, and it's lifting up the other thing too. All right, let's push everybody down. Okay, I think that looks good for the bucket of those guys, because then. All right. So the last bit we need to do is add our mechanisms. Eep. All right, come here. So this is gonna go here. Now, to help with this problem, to keep it from happening on this guy, I've got some foam squares that I am gonna add extra glue to just to reinforce the stickiness. So let's start with this one. And actually, I think I'm gonna cut them in half, just to make sure they don't show. And these are, I don't know if I mentioned, these are black foam squares, so they should not be very noticeable. All right. I just want to double check that this is high enough. So if we leave that there and stick that underneath. I think I want to do a little bit more. And I think that'll work. So the gluing of the foam squares together is not wanting to cooperate. Goodness, it's like sticking to my finger. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna add it to the back and try and push that down a little so it's not in the way. Now we're gonna put a dot on the top here and some glue on here just to make sure we stick, and we're gonna place it about here. And it is not going to want to cooperate. It's sliding all over the place. Come on. Okay, that's what we want. And it's now sliding. All right, I need to stick something here to hold that up. It's on a notepad. There we go. And it goes far enough across, I can do the other one too and have it help hold that up. All right. So we did 4 glue dots. No. We did 2 glue dots cut in half to make 4. For this one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just glue them onto it as we go. go. All right. Part of me is wondering if I shouldn't put just a little piece more on and glue it to the top of the scissors. I think I may do that, but I'm gonna let this whole thing dry before I try that, because otherwise we're gonna mess up our little sprayer things. So I'm gonna set this aside, let it dry. Then we're gonna come back, probably fix that off camera, and then we will do, we need to put something on this side to hold our light pack on. So that'll be next. Okay, let's get this finished. So I've grabbed some stuff because I want to create a sign that says All Hallows Eve Candy Factory. So I've die cut out the letters from Tim Holtz Sizzix, Alphanumeric, Tiny Type, the upper and lower cases. These are old Spellbinders nesting dies. And then this is a piece of foam core because I want to give it some additional stability. So what I want to do first is add a little bit more ink and color to this. Bring this over just to give it a little bit more depth. So let's grab a purple brush first, a little Wilted Violet. And a little Villainous Potion. Now we're gonna do a small amount of Vintage Photo and a touch of Scorched Timber, and I'm okay that there's some purple on here. What we're gonna do is give it a spritz. That's a little bit more browns than I wanted, so we're gonna come back and redo our inking on the edges. And then we're gonna do a little Villainous Potion, a little Wilted Violet, and then I'm gonna grab my Oxides. Alright, now we need to lay out our words. And this is, alright, so this stuff is the Sizzix sticky grid sheets. And it's sticky on both sides, and this side I've used a couple times and isn't very sticky, but should be okay. We'll see. Now, I'm gonna just lay out my letters on this piece. Did all this and I'm like, this needs to flatten out a little bit more. Let's get it so that it's laying as flat as possible. I'm wondering if my quick pick would be easier. I'm debating whether this is sticky enough or if I should use the other side. I think we're going to use the other side because I don't want to have to worry about whether or not this is going to get picked up. This is what we're going to do. There we go. Now what we're going to do is add glue and then flip it back over and put it on. So my hollow looks a little cockeyed, so I may adjust some of these. Stay in place while I apply glue to you. Do not be moving. Just gonna go through and make sure everyone's stuck down. Now what I'm going to do is put that on like so, then flip the whole thing over and press down and slowly peel this back, and hopefully everybody's stuck on. Oh, that worked fantastic. All right, let me just grab a rag to get all the excess glue up. Oh, I like that a lot. All right. Now, I don't think I want this on like so. So what I think I want to do is place this on and then score. Then it'll go on like that. Okay. Now, I want to put foam core, put it on a piece of foam core because it'll give it more stability than if I just do a piece of paper. So let's go ahead and glue it to the foam core and then trim around. I'm gonna see if scissors work better. Smaller scissors so I can see better. Let's see how that works. This is not, this is going to be very fiddly. What might be useful is a sanding disc. works. I think I may grab a piece of scrap black paper and run it along the sides here to make it for a neat finished edge. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let me grab that. I'll be right back. All right, so I've cut a skinny piece of black paper, cardstock, and we are just gonna wrap it around and give us a nice finished edge. Oh no, I don't think it's long enough. All right, let me go get another strip of paper. Actually, I think, since we've got a little bit wrapping around everywhere, I'm just going to even it out and go all the way to the end. Oh, I like that. Now, we're going to hold off on adding that to the back or to the top until we take care of our battery pack on the back. Oh, and I need to glue that guy back in. So I think I'm just gonna I've got some more of this paper left. It's about the width of the battery pack. So what we're gonna do is, it's gonna go here. Our battery pack stuff's gonna go, let's see if we do it there. Scooch it up just a hair. What we're gonna do is we're gonna mark here and here. We're gonna score those two spots. And then that's, let's see, how much is that? That's a 1/2 inch. So we're gonna stick this in here. Score again at 1/2 inch. And we're gonna figure out what's this. That's 1 3/4. So I'm gonna stick that in and score at 1 3/4. And that's a 1/2 inch. Score just actually, let's go ahead and do the full score at a 1/4 inch, because then I'm gonna just grab my scissors and cut that score mark. Then if we glue it on here, let's make sure we do all of our folding. So if we glue it on here, that will sit there. That will close over like that. That is too deep because that's going to come sliding out. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to see what happens if we just glue this on. That is not where I want the glue. I'm just going to glue that. I feel like that's not straight. Because that is not straight. All right. Let's straighten that edge up. That might help a little. That's better. Let's also ink these edges. These edges. Bring this back over. Let's ink this edge. Let's re-glue. Actually, I think that'll be okay. All right, we're just gonna go ahead and glue this on. Pull that out and change the battery, and it can get tucked back in. All right, that works. Stands. All right, let's glue our All Hallows Eve Candy Factory sign on the top. Need to hold that for a while. Let's see. And that, because I want to glue this guy that fell off on all the way down. Oh yeah, it's still on screen. Great. You can see what I'm doing. And I am off screen gonna fill in the gaps from the bottom of the cauldrons, but I'm still waiting for my new texture paste to come in. But for now, here is our All Hallows Eve Candy Factory. And I really love how this came out. Here, I'll put it on screen at an angle because it's so stinking big. So yeah, that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.